Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Bradford.
Hey. Hi, guys.
I'm not sure where everyone's from.
Oh, okay.
Wow, this is great.
So we give it another few minutes to see who else joins.
I think so. And then, yeah, and then we'll just dive right in. I don't really have an agenda. So if you can start me with like a prompting question or something that I can share that way.
Sounds good.
So as Sandra is fully aware, I am a through and through generator in human design, and I have an undefined throat and an undefined crown. So one of the characteristics is that I respond very well. So whenever someone asks something, I get a ton of information streaming through that is calibrated for an ideal response, so to speak. But when I'm just propped up and told to say something, I usually draw a blank. But
Okay, Bradford, tell us something about universal white time healing and gemstone healing and why it's different.
why white time and white time healing and white time gemstone healing are different, or why white time healing in general is different?
Why it's different from everything else.
Yes, it's different because there's a few things that stand right out. The first is the source of the information and the quality of that source, and the way it's being made available to us. So most energy healing modalities are earth-based. Maybe people channel information, or they've been taught through some indigenous tradition, and the energies that the energy healing modality works with are sourced and pulled up from the earth, like Reiki, for example. And of course, the founder of Reiki had a contact experience when he went up onto a mountain in Japan and was visited, and he received the energy and the symbols and the initiation from some higher beings in a spacecraft. And then he brought that down and he disseminated it. And since then, it's been, for lack of a better word, diluted, because different people come up with different stuff and they add it to the original education, which is why there's so many different modes of Reiki. And they're all wonderful, and they all have different aspects and features that the original one didn't, because the Reiki masters add and contribute their energy to it. Whereas white time, the source is not channeled information. It's actually a woman who has an extraterrestrial soul, and she was contacted as an early child when she was 6 years old. She lives in Sweden, and she was taken off planet, and has been taught the healing modalities that are used in the universe by advanced beings for her entire life. And they include universal white time energy healing and universal white time gemstone healing. And we come to learn that gemstone healing is one of the most ancient forms of healing in the universe, using natural vibrations and frequencies of gemstones in combination to create specific results that go very deep into the subatomic structure of a living being. And this advanced technology is what is brought down through the education of universal white time gemstone healing. It's all very, very frequency specific. And there is a mineral guidebook that Shani compiled. Shani's the name of the woman. Her name is Shani Shah West. And she's a wonderful woman. I've had the opportunity of meeting her in person and taking classes with her. And so the energy is very pure, and it's also very specifically curated specifically for the needs of humans and humanity at this time, because we are in a transitional period to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of energy, and a greater responsibility for all living beings on this planet, and the opportunity to re-enter into the galactic society as a planet that is no longer isolated, but is in active communication with other higher beings, like the Pleiadians, who are essentially our next door neighbors on the next star system over. That's just a small differentiation. It's because this is like, you just travel to a different land and you learn their customs. And Shani has learned the customs and the healing abilities and techniques of the beings that use these in the universe, and brought that down to Earth to teach to us. And she's been teaching classes since 1994. And now there's a global network of healers and practitioners on the planet actively working to raise the vibration of Earth and humanity. So that really, what you get is a universal perspective. And we're talking some of the highest beings of the universe, like archangels, light beings, all the beings that they are around the central sun of the universe, some of the purest, highest forces and divine forces in the universe. It's a very beautiful modality.
How many do we have in Canada?
What's that?
How many practitioners do we have in Canada?
It's hard to say, simply because it's voluntary to submit your credentials to one of the head teachers or supreme teachers for the Western Hemisphere. His name is Jeremy Werner. He lives in Sedona, Arizona, and he has a practitioner and teacher database. So you can go on there and see how many. I have two personal friends who live in Canada who are practitioners, and one is a level 2 energy healing teacher who I worked with. So it's not a very large number of people so far. I'm one of 4 approved teachers of the gemstone healing modality currently in the United States, and I don't believe there is any gemstone teachers in Canada at this time. My personal goal with this, I refer to it as, this is my corporate ladder, is to be able to teach teachers of the gemstone healing, simply because I've had such a profound joy and personal path of discovery through the gemstones. Because in addition to the curated layouts that you learn within the classes, you get connected to the consciousness of crystals to such a deep level. It expands your experience of reality, because every living being has minerals within it. And the more you work with stones and the gemstones, you feel their vibrations, their frequencies, and everything becomes so much more alive. And crystals themselves are such wonderful tools for opening and healing and spiritual awakening. So you just become so alive in ways that I can't really describe, but I'm sure some people who've experienced the classes could maybe share some of their experience of how the gemstone classes have really opened them up to their personal truth. That's really what it is. It's we're all uncovering what we really came here to do in this lifetime, what gifts we have within us, and how best we can serve ourselves and each other and humanity as a whole. So, yeah.
Fabulous. How long have you been teaching?
I have been teaching since 2006. I was first connected to the modality in 2007. I was first connected to the modality in 2006, and within a year, I took all 4 levels of practitioner training and the first 3 levels of teacher training for the gemstone healing. And I have been teaching the gemstone classes actively for 17 years now.
Could you give your name and where you're from?
Of course. That's a good place to start. My name is Bradford W. Tilden, and I currently reside in Cheshire, Connecticut. It's a lovely little town. And say, wait, all my Connecticut peeps, you want to wave your hands? Yay! Yes.
It would be lovely to hear from one of the people in one of your earlier classes about their experience in class, since you just mentioned that.
Sure. Any
Who wants to
volunteers?
volunteer?
Share a few words?
I'll share.
Thank you.
My name is Eve, and I was Actually, I kind of took a vacation around my birthday, and then we ended up taking a class in Sedona, me and Lisa. And my relationship, I already had a relationship with crystals because I'm let's say already a practitioner of sorts, earth related practices. So I use stones in ritual and all that neat, in different other applications. And this, taking the white time crystal class, just amplified my knowledge that I already had of crystals, and more so brought in the vibrational techniques and the relativity to healing better. I did get a lot out of it, and it just, like I said, it amplifies, the class is amplified and encourage like a higher aspect of healing for me. So I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. And half the crystals I already have. So, it's a constant investment in your self-care. So I'm content with that because I'm worth it. I know I am. So it's just, the added bonus to have the knowledge and to have the application, and I'm more of a visual person. So, having use of the layouts help me out. And it's just, and I mean, the only reason why I initially took a class was speaking with Bradford at an event one time, and I was hooked. Like, I want to learn all the things. I want to learn everything, and I already make my own skincare products with using essential oils, and I use a lot of natural stuff. So why wouldn't I, add another healing tool to my toolbox? Makes sense.
I would like to add on to what Eve has shared.
Rosalind. And Eve,
You're
thank you
welcome.
for sharing.
Those
And
are
it's-
extraordinary stories. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's been a pure pleasure having everyone, every person I ever and have the opportunity and honor to study with. It's so rewarding to see the growth that I see within the people that I train. Rosalind, you are an amazing example of triumph
Thank you.
over adversity. Would you like to share something?
I would. I found Universal White Time Healing, the Gemstone healing, after having been a Reiki master for about 10 years. And what I found with doing Reiki, I would often use crystals in my sessions. And when I came to the Gemstone healing with Universal White Time, it was like you're bumbling along by yourself, trying to figure things out with trial and error, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And then you have a master who comes over and goes, okay, just do it like this. And then it all makes sense and it all falls into place. And I found that extraordinarily helpful. A lot of times I found, even after 10 years of doing Reiki, that I bumped up against some of the boundaries that Reiki had. And for me, this was next level healing, particularly using the crystals as a bridge, and the extraordinary results that we would get with them, not only for myself receiving sessions, but also giving them. So for me, it was just next level. So thank you, Brad, for teaching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just confirmation of what I discovered when I first encountered it, that I felt like this was something that I had been, I knew I always believed in magic in the world. I knew there was magic. I had some really, really interesting experiences as I was growing up, from alien visitations to archangels to shamanic initiations as a kid. And I just knew there was something there. And when I first felt the energy of the first layout that I ever received from the head teacher, the day that I met her, and that it was energy that my soul was literally starving for on this earth plane. It was a cosmic energy, the energy of the universe, and it was so refreshing, and it confirmed everything that I had hoped was true. that it wasn't just this linear three-dimensional little matrix we live in, but it was something so much more profound that's available to us. And in that moment, I chose to essentially commit my life to studying and growing within this, I would say, miraculous modality. There's really is nothing else like it on the planet. And I am just continually humbled and honored that I get to share it with people who also hear the call, who are interested in this level of education and experience. So, Sandra.
Yes, can I share now?
Yes.
I'm going to move the screen so that the people online can see me and everybody here can already see.
Oh.
Okay, so I am Sandra Lee, and I am the reason why all of this is happening, because I met Bradford. He's one of the co-authors in the Energy Medicine Solution book that I was participating in, that published last year. And after meeting Bradford in one of our group author meetings, I wanted to get together and meet him and do trades. And so Bradford and I arranged to do a trade. I was doing biofield tuning for him, and he was doing universal light time healing and gemstone healing for me. I have been practicing energy therapies for 30 years, long time. And my experience of a lot of energy work was that I didn't really see lasting results. And not feeling like I was getting lasting results. I was mostly relying on doing hands-on body work because I would see something that really physically changed. When I received my first session with Bradford, I experienced like an opening of my crown that's permanent. It hasn't gone back to the way it was before. Like, it was noticeably changed. I was like, whoa, I could tell this works at a level of nothing else I had ever experienced. And I think it was probably right after that that I said, you need to come to Pennsylvania and teach a class.
Yes.
Partly because it is selfish. I want to learn, the gemstone work. And I know that people here also really like the gemstones, and that there would probably be an audience here of people who are interested. And since then, I have had numerous sessions with Bradford because he and I, for some reason, we just get along. We love each other. And so I've been doing biofield tuning and human design for him, and he does gemstone healing for me. And every session, I feel a permanent change. Wow. So the first one was opening the top of my head. The second one was like opening my hands. There was one where we were working on my heart, and one was the back of my heart. Just these like significant alterations that I can feel in my field. And as someone who's practiced energy therapies forever, to find something that I say this works at a level that nothing else I've done works, that's saying something. So I'm inviting all of you to participate in this with me, and hearing all these wonderful stories from the other students. Oh my goodness. So yeah, and Brad, I just appreciate your saying yes and being so fun to play with.
Yeah, I love it. I've been invited to Portugal to teach these classes, Hawaii to teach these classes, Chicago, Sedona, and I would go anywhere really where people will have me, because this is information that I believe everyone should be able to have access to, and because it is a starting point. It loads you up with such a wonderful foundation and confidence and resources to develop your own unique expression for whatever that may be, however you choose to incorporate the gemstone healing, for example, into your life, or even in the energy healing as well. And it enriches life experience. And so yeah, I definitely, I bought my tickets today, so I've committed myself to coming to Penticton. And I really hope that it is that I really hope to have a successful turnout, because I just love teaching. One of the things I do is I came here to teach, and you kind of need students in order to teach.
For sure.
So and this particular modality is not available to be taught virtually because of the physical exchange of the energy between yourself and the gemstones. And so right off the bat, I manifested a traveling gemstone store where I bring over 144 different types of gemstones in quantity to supply my students with. And we just get around and we literally get high on gemstone healing energies. I mean, but in all seriousness, there are very, very wonderful physical healing applications. There's meditation augmentations. In the level 1 class, you get to learn how to temporarily change the color of your aura for specific results, like preventing sicknesses, protection against smoke inhalation, being able to absorb more as you learn, even being able to get more out of an experience, like when you travel. It's just all this amazing, really fun and exciting things that you can do with crystals that I would have never even thought possible until I took these classes. So it is a wonderful thing, and yeah, I just don't know what else to say. So
Bradford,
I don't want to talk too much about the specifics of these classes, but in the level 1 class, one of the first things we talk about is getting a personal agate stone. And in fact, I gift one to all of my clients who I work with. That's one of the first things I do with them. I tell them how to program it. I tell them the benefits of it. So yeah, that's the level 1 class. Yep. And we also learn a very deep layout called the basic layout, and it's just a wonderful thing, and it really does a deep healing on all the levels of the body and the aura, and a couple other layouts as well. So
Do you guys have questions?
yeah, yes, let's open it up to questions.
There's a few people muted. I'm not sure if I did that. Oh no, it says ask to unmute. So I guess you all have control to open up your mics.
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask a question, unmute yourself and ask away.
Bradford,
Yes.
could you share? I'm not sure.
So Shawnee, her official title is the ambassador for Earth for Universal White Time Healing. So we've got the UN, right, United Nations. Well, she's our representative on Earth, and she's a wonderful person, and I wouldn't have anyone else in that position other than her, or myself, of course. No, I'm not ready for that. But so she has a lot more information that's available about our ascension process, about universal light language. There's other gemstone layouts. There's symbols that help expand our brain capacity. There's supplemental layouts that do other things. There's so much more in addition. And what Rosin's mentioning are a series of 9.5 classes that Shawnee made available a while back that talk about a whole number of things, opening Earth star portals with gemstones on the land to raise the energy, making devices, frequency spinning devices that clear waters, learning about the real nature of the structure of time, and time loops and that sort of thing. And God, there's just so much in these classes. And so I did offer them as a series online couple of years ago, and I'm considering scheduling that again, but maybe
Sounds
doing
like
a
a good
hybrid
idea.
class with the people here in Connecticut and online. And the great thing about these classes is as soon as you take them, you're able to teach them. The idea is to disseminate the information quickly. And so there's a little initiation ceremony after each of the 9.5 classes. And then you get the digital version copy of all the information. You can go right around and teach it yourself. So, and we talk a lot about the new chakra system, new in the sense that the quality of the chakra centers has shifted as we've been pulling in more higher frequencies and integrating more of the earth. And so there's all these exercises and layouts that attune us to the higher manifestation of our chakra system. And in fact, that is what the level 3 gemstone healing class almost exclusively focuses on. But in more depth. And it just really tunes you to be in alignment with the accelerating vibration of the earth and of the universe in general. So that's what those classes are about. And on that thread, quickly talking about the level 2 gemstone healing class, which I'm also offering in when I'm out in Penticton. That is an introduction to the philosophy of color healing, or color healing within white time healing. And we learn how different colors, a lack or an excessive amount, are the underlying cause of most manifestations of disease. And so we have these gemstone layouts that were specifically designed not to be too strong to create negative side effects, but enough to bring us back into balance with whatever those colors are. And also a correspondence of lifestyle activities that can also generate the positive aspects of these colors. And again, this is information that has been vetted by the highest beings in the universe that have our best interests in mind. I don't want to crack open the worm of the failing Western medical system, but
Because that's a long conversation.
No, long conversation, and it is what it is, and it's essentially old paradigm, 3-dimensional. And as we become more quantum and multidimensional, we have to have these complementary modalities because the vibrations that crystals provide nourish those higher energetic aspects of our complete mind, body, spirit manifestation of our being. Without those energetic, without the energetic, the presence of energetics in that sense, the healing is incomplete. The shortcomings, not to mention the corruption and greed with the pharmaceutical companies, but again, that's a conversation for another day. So it's vital that we address these higher vibrations, and the level 2 class has a lot of that information within it, as well as a beautiful layout that expands one's creativity. More than one person who came to me with complaints of never having dreams or never remembering dreams, after receiving that layout, called me the next day and said, I had my first dream tonight. And it's like that kind of quick shifting change. And the other layout in that class, I'm just talking about it, or thinking about it, is a layout called the Ultimate Rising Energy Layout. And what it does is it tunes your body to be to vibrate at the level of the earth, but 4 years from the present. So, Earth is vibrating right here, right now, and she'll progress her vibration in 4 years from now. Maybe she'll be up here. Well, now, when you receive this layout, your frequency is now vibrating in tune with the future expression of the Earth, and that when you carry that tone, you're spreading it out. So when you go to the grocery store, the produce that in the produce section, they're receiving that vibration, and so these higher vibrations spread. And so this is another subtle way that we are continuing the work by simply walking through life, carrying these frequencies within us. And each layout adds another one of those composite frequencies to your being and your vibrational expression. And these layouts last within you approximately about 4 years, and until which time they kind of fade to stillness, and then you can have the layout again. So it's a remarkable tool for shifting your consciousness as well as the consciousness of others around you in a very non-invasive, non-confrontational way. It's like the smile, you know, when you smile, someone else smiles, suddenly everyone's smiling. It's that level of benevolence and loving expression. Teacher force that the teacher, and in this case, I will initiate and activate before the class. Some classes I have to initiate it a month before, like the level 3 energy healing class, but we're not talking about that right now. And what that teacher force does is it allows the students to assimilate more knowledge, to have the higher beings come and do small openings and initiations on them throughout the class, and it allows them to absorb and maintain more of the higher frequencies of the gemstones quickly and a larger amount, as you were saying, so that people don't get overwhelmed by the amount of energy, because it is very powerful. And I remember when I was in the teacher training, this is really funny. So the head teacher, I was in the teacher force as a student, studying to be a teacher with one woman from the UK. And during a break, we decided to give each other these additional layouts that are from a set called the Layout of the Month Club, which are more layouts that aren't taught within the classes. And it's funny because those layouts weren't covered under the teacher force, because this person and I, after like because the head teacher had all of the layouts prepared, so that's what we had access to them. And I remember the look on her face and mine. It's like, you know, after you run a marathon, you're like, oh, and we could both look like that. We were just so overwhelmed by all the energy, simply because it wasn't nestled under the teacher force. So the teacher force is a real thing. And that's also, in many ways, a difference between studying this modality and other modalities. I don't know if there's a teacher force in Reiki, but I've never heard anything of the sort. So it's like you step into an accelerated learning program, like the AP classes in school, and you kind of step into that in these classes and get a lot more integration and energy than you would in normally, and also leading into a conversation about the initiations. The initiations are extraordinary. They in spiritual growth, we measure it like steps on a staircase, and initiations sort of bring you to that staircase. It gives you access to that staircase, and then an opening is a widening. It's like the plateau, and then the upgrade is like the next step up. And if you could think of one step as an equivalent of 1 hour of meditation or healing work, then we can measure the power of the initiations. And some of the initiations remove an equivalent of like 40 years worth of meditation or healing work in that one initiation. So you can imagine how much growth you experience after you integrate from that experience. In fact, one of the initiations, called the new initiation, is a 40,000 step initiation and upgrade. That's 40,000 hours worth of healing work experienced within that one half-hour long initiation. So this is the level of integrity and of accelerated growth that Universal White Time has to offer people. It's extraordinary. And again, the main goal is to get us all to wake up, to come into the galactic community, and we have to address the majority. You know, we have to help humanity. This isn't a winner takes all type thing. So being in this, studying in this modality definitely is a way to be of great service to yourself, to your family, to your community, and certainly to all of humanity. Like I said at the beginning, it's a real beautiful thing, and it's a real honor to choose to walk in this path. So, and of course, you can always participate at any level you want. I have people who just come to the class, they receive the energy, they go off on their way. I never hear from them again. I don't know if they ever use it, but bottom line is they're carrying the frequency, and that's what's most important. So
I also,
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Sounds like you've sent out beautiful ripples, Bradford.
what's that?
Sounds like you've sent out some beautiful ripples.
Yes, I yes, and it's wonderful when I get to experience or hear or learn about those ripples, because I'm sure there's many more that I'm unaware of, and I'm sure there's also many more that I get to make in the future.
Fabulous.
And I'm sure everyone here has created their fair share of ripples as well, because you don't just pop into one of these high vibrational webinars by accident.
Right.
So, yeah, I do want to mention that I'm offering also, well, I see some people here from Cleveland. And I was just in Cleveland doing sound healing and a crystal healing workshop. And I'm also headed back to Cleveland to teach the level 1 class at the beginning of May. Very excited. So what happened with me was something very unexpected. And at the same time I got connected with white time healing, Lemurian seed crystals started to call to me. And what happens when you take a white time gemstone healing class, you basically get 3 advisors or 3 master guides who are literally assigned to you, like a jury panel for a thesis. Like you've got, like in college, you have a panel to review your thesis or whatever. But in this context, you have 3 master guides that say, yeah, I'll work with him. And so they choose to work with you, and they become your primary teacher outside of the class, or guide. Rosin mentioned that they show up in her healing work. And so 3 of my main guides I connected with, and this was right when I was first in Portugal, when I was first invited to teach, and my host left me alone in the hotel room, and I meditated on the balcony, and then my guides came, and they were bringing a symbol with them, and they said they wanted me to develop a similar series of classes, and these classes would be an extension with more gemstone layouts, but also incorporating sound. And the primary feature of these classes was the Lemurian seed crystals, which are a very special type of quartz. And it was always odd. I found it odd that Shani really didn't mention Lemurian seed crystals at all in the white time gemstone healing. I think they're mentioned once somewhere. And then it dawned on me that Lemurian seed crystals are an exclusive Earth phenomenon. The Lemurian seed crystals just exist on Earth. But the white time healing and Shani's education is from the universe. And we all know that a lot of guides who are our guides, they've never been incarnated, and they have no clue what it's like to live in these bodies in this third dimension and all the challenges. But the Lemurian seed crystals are the end result of a campaign from the original founders of the human consciousness way back in the civilization of Lemuria, which of course comes from our star ancestors, but the information preserved in them is about the journey of humanity's evolution through the Dark Ages, and awakening back up and reactivating our DNA, preparing us to receive the higher vibrations. So my white time gemstone master guides encouraged me to develop these classes, and I did. And so part of the supplement class that I'm teaching between the level 1 and level 2 is basically contributions from myself and from my from the head gemstone healing teacher that aren't part of the official curriculum of the class, but a lot of those layouts in this supplement are also extremely effective. And so I really wanted to include them. And they accumulate into something called the cosmic chakra cord activation. And I'm also throwing in, not throwing in, I've been guided to include a very special upgrade that is from White Time Healing at the end of the supplement, which is something that you can give the 10-year-old. And what it does is it gives you some additional protections against negative energy, but also augments and strengthens your energy healing, your natural energy healing abilities. And this is a 950 step upgrade. And that's what, Sandra, to answer your question, why I have the term initiation and I think an upgrade, because they're two different things. So that will explain that. But that's something that I'm allowed to give anyone. So I figured it would be a wonderful thing to give people who take the supplement class. So you'll actually receive 3 different initiations throughout the course of the week that I'm going to be there. And Julie, if you wanted, if you're interested in that, because I can do that particular upgrade via distance. I can do many of these things via distance, except I can't teach the gemstone healing classes. So that's my little additional information and insight about how the guides and the education guided me to contribute and work with crystals even more. And so now I'm like the guy for Lemurian Seed Crystals.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
This is just one of the many. This is my I call this the cosmic Lemurian. This is very, very high quality. Yeah. So they're wonderful, and I love them. Crystals are alive. They're great friends.
You need a bib.
I was happy with the one I got.
So that's basically my adventure so far, and I just love helping people enrich their own adventure. And so far, I haven't had a negative experience working with the white time energy, with the gemstones, and I've never had a negative experience with any students or anything. The energies are just so positive, and when you're working with the frequency of love, it's hard to have anything really interfere with that. It's interesting. So I don't know. Any more questions?
Bradford's also available for a limited number of private sessions while he's
That's
here.
right. Yes. Yeah. I combine the gemstones and the energy, and if possibly my voice, if need be. Usually I'm working with a crystal bowl. I don't know, Jen, do you have any crystal bowls there? I forgot.
About 12 to 15 of them.
Ooh. Well, maybe I'll have to do like a spontaneous concert or something.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah, some of them are 18, 20 inches wide.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. So, yeah. How about all my students get free seat to the concert?
Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, so here's another interesting way that I've integrated this information, and Julie knows she attended something I call the Archangel experience. So being a composer and a sound healer and a crystal healer and an energy healer, I have had direct contact and interaction with at least 4 of the major archangels. And Archangel Michael and Archangel Uriel They were the first two that I created a gemstone layout that will connect with their vibration, but I also created a half-an-hour meditation sound healing with my voice, with synthesizers, in one case with crystal bowls, and also a harp. And this Archangel experience, people either they got the VIP ticket was the complete layout placed on their body, or going back to that personal agate that I mentioned earlier, I programmed those agates to contain the complete frequency of each Archangel. So the general admission, they got that one particular stone, but it was essentially the same frequency they were receiving. And then as people listened and meditated to the music and received the gemstone energy, I was at the same time sending a group healing to everyone using some even higher angelic forces than the archangels. And it was such a beautiful experience. And this is, I can do this, I can replicate this experience anywhere, really. It just requires a really good sound system, and for me to know how many people are coming. And Julie's, I don't know, I didn't hear you did share a little bit about it. You don't have to, I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's always amazing hearing the experiences that people have when I do this sort of work.
Yeah, it's okay. I could share a little tidbit.
Sure.
I could share a little tidbit. It's it was more like an experience, like a galactic experience. It was so like, because I love going to crystal bowl healings, and I love the sound. I love, like, my energy field loves, it's like a bubble bath when I get into like a beautiful like crystal bowl healing. And so I went to Bradford's Archangel sound healing, just like with the expectation that I'm gonna, just have a calm, relaxing little bubble bath for my energy field. But I ended up like my like consciousness like shut down, so that my energy body, or like my astral body, can go off and do something like majorly healing for me. And then I came back in, and like I felt the next couple of days like these dense energies were like lifted. And I emailed Bradford, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I highly recommend. It's I mean, you kind of have to be like I don't know, open to it. I think I'm so open to experiences like this. And it's like, if you were to have something like this and you're open, and then you're in like the caring hands of Bradford, like he really cares about healing people. And I don't even know him. I met him once last month, but I could just tell he cares so much about healing people. Like, and when you have all of these components together and the intention of healing, it really is very powerful, and I highly recommend it. It's an experience. It's an experience.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And it's fun. And it's joyful. And that's also a big significant thing. That it's hard for me to teach and to heal with a serious expression. But because it's that the joy, the vibration of joy heals on such a deep level, even deeper than love. So it's quite profound. And thank you, Julie, for sharing that. Yeah, so we're almost at the hour. Does anyone have any other questions, burning desires, anything? And
Yeah, I do. I'm paint and do other artistic things. And I've been learning about how sound, like the megahertz, are connected to color. And I'm wondering if this could be incorporated in that. I'm not sure how to ask the question, but would this work?
the gemstone healing?
Yeah, would this help enhance that or be incorporated in that?
I'm pretty sure that it will further open and develop your intuitive understanding, which would be expressed through your art and through the sound. And of course, crystals have frequencies, and
Oh, okay.
each crystal has its own unique frequency, and that's really the basis of the modality, is how they're combined and what that results in. And there's, of course, there's synesthesia, where you see colors when you hear sound. I myself and a lot of people see colors and swirls of colors and different colors when they receive the gemstone layouts. So what I'm seeing is it in experiencing receiving the work, it would open and amplify, is the word we've been using, whatever expression you're already using, or what medium you're choosing to express it in.
Brad-
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure. I would love to see some of your artwork.
Sure.
Cool. So, anyone else? Anything else?
Bradford,
Oh,
I took the Gemstone 1 class with you in Sedona. When are
yes.
you gonna have the second?
When am I going to have the second?
Yeah.
In Sedona, I haven't started planning that date yet. I want to do essentially a poll and see who from level 1 is available what day to take level 2. And that's going to determine that factor in Sedona. And I'm so grateful to be teaching level 1 and 2 in Penticton right off the bat. There are the 4 levels, and personally, the level 4 class is beyond anything I've ever experienced before. And that my whole driving force is to get people to experience what I experienced in that class. So there's a lot of legwork leading up to that. And Sandra, you're instrumental in planting the seed there in Penticton, and Julie, of course, my friend Tracy in Cleveland, and everyone in California. So yeah, this is an ongoing thing where I'm always going to be offering classes. They do need to be sequentially attended, and so that's one thing to consider. So Lisa, I will get back to you about when level 2 is. Right now, I'm really focusing on making this class a success, and also making my return to Cleveland a success as well. So really appreciate you hopping on, Julie, for tonight. And this has been a wonderful experience for me, hearing all this beautiful feedback, just really seeing how the education has touched people, and hoping to inspire future white timers, especially in Canada and abroad. And it's just it's so fulfilling for me to be of service. And I don't really have any more words to say beyond that, except thank you. And I'm very grateful for all of you, even the ones, the lovely ladies in the corner of my screen who I've just met for the first time tonight. You all have wonderful energy, and I do hope to meet you in person at the end of May. So, Sandra, do you have anything else to add?
No, just thank you, and I'm glad we scheduled 1 and 2 together, and that was me like purposely planning it that way. So yes, I'm excited. Make it happen.
Yes. So enrollment is open to register for these classes. They can be found on my website, Crystal Music Healing. Jennifer has information, or if she doesn't, she will soon. Not sure we have a cute little physical flyer yet. I'm still working on that. But I guess we'll end there. I'm not running the show here, so I can't end the meeting. But everyone who came, who answered my invitation, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you, and Julie, and the people I can't place who they are in the screen. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
for coming.
Brad.
Have a wonderful night.
And the seeds, you
Good
know.
night, all.